these reviews are becoming part of what we use in our marketing, front to back. So welcome to Local SEO Tactics, episode 13. We're going to be talking about reviews this week and how to leverage some software solutions to get more reviews. I think everybody understands the importance of reviews nowadays for SEO, for product selection and service selection. And we're going to dive a little deeper into better ways to collect the reviews, some automated solutions on how to better respond to and manage those reviews, and how you can use them in your social marketing too. So there's some great software out there. We're going to dive into that today, and hopefully it helps you out. We want to talk about something really cool that we're going to be launching. It's going to be a live review of your website. So we've had a lot of people emailing us, kind of asking questions, and we used one of them in an example for last week's podcast from Patrick. And that went pretty good, and we really enjoyed that, and Patrick was happy with the feedback. We want to turn that into something we can do on Facebook Live for everybody. So we're pretty excited about it, and hopefully that gives us the chance to connect with you guys in a live format and review your website. So if you do have some of these questions for how do I do this, or what do you think of that, or what would you recommend, we'd love to answer those live. If you're interested in doing this, let us know. Go to intrix.com/live. There's a real quick form, who you are, what's your website, and kind of tell us, if you're having a problem or what exactly you want us to be looking at. And so, of course, this is going to be on Facebook Live. If you're not already follow us on Facebook, go out to facebook.com/intrix. Follow us, even if you don't want to submit your site to get reviewed. If you want to jump on to the live session and watch what we're doing and get that feedback in a live format for other people's websites, if you're following us, you're going to get alerted when we're live.
Yep.
Otherwise, we'll make sure we send out an email and let you know when it's going to be for the first one, so everybody can tune in if you're not following us. But obviously the easiest thing through Facebook, go to facebook.com/intrix, follow us. If you want your site to be reviewed, go to intrix.com/live and sign up. All right, so without further ado, let's jump right into today's episode and get to talking about reviews. Hey everyone, welcome back to Local SEO Tactics. Jesse Dolan with Bob Brennan here. Howdy. Coming back at you this week. We're going to dive back into our topic about reviews. A few episodes back, we touched on reviews, actually a couple times now, and it's really just that important of a topic. So we're going to kind of get into an advanced version here today. And something we're going to talk about is automated reviews, right?
Yep.
How to get them from your customers, how to turn them into social media posts, and really take advantage of the whole process front to back, and to do it in the most automated, easy fashion possible, at least to date, for what we've uncovered at least. So, want to back up just for a quick second here, and I think it's been about probably close to 2 months since we did our first episode about reviews. And during that time, I don't know if we've been more aware of the reviews out there, or if businesses are just adopting these things more. But Bob and I were just talking earlier today about some observations we've been making out there for really how important are reviews. I mean, everybody knows that you should get some, you should have them for your business. We've talked about it before, but they're out there in marketing beyond just, getting reviews and being stars on your website. The example I was sharing with Bob is my wife and I, we have a Cabela's credit card. They send us a catalog, I don't know, if every 3 or 4 weeks, whatever, for seasonality stuff. And I thought it was super interesting. I opened it up this weekend, flipping through the pages, and on the catalog, in the print, on the text, they had their reviews, right?
Like right in the catalog.
Right in the catalog. It was kind of like if you're going to go online and view their page, on the website, that same kind of information. So different products, this is a 4.2 average rating. This is a 5.0, and so on and so forth. And it kind of struck me, like I said, I'm not sure if I'm just kind of hypersensitive because we're all about reviews and stuff right now. Right. But I don't remember seeing that. I'm pretty sure it's a new phenomenon for them that they're using it. And we've also noticed reviews on the back of U-Haul trucks.
Yeah.
Just promoting their, promoting their star rating and kind of getting that message across. And we've also heard radio commercials, people talking about, check out our reviews, we're 5.0, 312 reviews and things of that nature. So it's kind of transcending just let me check their reviews and let me check out what the rating is online. Businesses are using it in their advertising, in their marketing. So it's that important. If we rewind the clock a few years ago, you'd want to get testimonials and case studies, right? Share them on your website, put them in your sales flyers, on your pamphlets. What are people saying about you? This is kind of the same thing. Reviews are a manifestation of that same kind of concept. What is the public saying? What are my peers saying? And things like that. And really the fact that in print, digital, and in audiovisual, these reviews are becoming part of what we use in our marketing, front to back. So thought that was kind of a curious thing to share.
Yeah, it's just another visual cue, right?
Yep.
And I think we're looking at a generation, of people that are growing up. They're internet savvy. They don't know what a phone book is, right?
Right.
There's a couple generations that you could, throw a phone book at them and they wouldn't know what it is. So it's that seeing so many stars equates to quality or whatever the deal is,
right.
And that's kind of the standard. So it's the product we're going to talk about is pretty exciting, but it's it's not for everybody. And I think one of those things too is we talk about it, all the bells and whistles and features that it has. It's one of those deals that if you're a very small business just starting out, I don't think this is a good fit. And more importantly, I think you have to get yourself and your team orientated in how to capture reviews yourself. And I think you have to go back to, what episode was that? Was that episode number 2 or whatever?
That was episode 3 was the first one.
Okay.
Importance of getting Google reviews. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, go ahead and listen to this, but maybe go back to episode 3. Is that right? So go back to that episode if you're smaller, because I think there's, again, basic building blocks that you have to dig into, get your team engaged. And if you're a smaller company, that's more effective. And that's really where you're going to start. Where this is really going to be leveling up and taking it to the next level. So, this type of conversation we're having is really for, I'm guessing, a business that does, between, anything north of 5 to 10 transactions a day that they can capture this information, or more importantly, somebody that's been established. They know they're a good business. It's just their reviews aren't really reflecting that. And so they have to have systems in place that help them assure that they have good reviews. And that's where this product and this concept that we're talking about today is definitely going to help.
And I was just checking there. It's episode 3. We talked about the importance of getting Google reviews.
Yep.
And then in episode 4, we talked about start getting Google reviews for your business. And just to rewind, if people haven't checked that out,
So 3 and 4, right?
3 and 4,
okay.
Both kind of deal with reviews. And we talk about how to capture those from your customers. You want to get it set up to be able to get them. How do you use them? And then how do you get them from your customers? We talked about the Mr. Rogers approach, which is an excellent tried and true approach. And kind of like Bob said, if you're not doing at least a few transactions a day, getting into the automated review system probably isn't going to be what you want to do, just because you're not having enough scale to really make it worth it. And your transactions are going to be more personal with the customer, and you're going to want to use that Mr. Rogers approach.
Right.
So if you're not already doing something to get reviews, whether that's automated or not, kind of take a look at that. Episode 4, I think is the one with the Mr. Rogers approach in there. Super, super good. Now, if you are doing more than a few transactions a day, you want to look at, using some kind of a product for the automated reviews. We're going to talk about a product called Review Lead that we offer through Intrix. There's going to be other products out there. If you just Google, getting reviews or things like that, you're going to bump into a ton of them. There's going to be prices from maybe $300 or $400 a month all the way down to, I don't know, $20, $30, $40 a month. You're going to get what you pay for.
Yep.
Right. So check out all the features. What does it do? What doesn't it do? We're going to run through a bunch of features that our product does here for you today. And it's probably somewhere in the middle of that pricing is where it's going to end up. But all of these features, I would say if you're a business, again, doing more than a few transactions a day, you're going to want to at least get these things. You're not going to want to pay for the cheap product out there that's just going to, provide a link to get reviews. The automation and some of the stuff Bob was referring to that we're going to talk about here is well worth it. If you take a price point, even of say, $200 or $300 a month, or, whatever, $2,500, $3,000 a year on an annual basis, think about what you're selling. How many transactions, how many customers would it take to get the ROI on that, right?
Right.
The time savings that you're going to get just from your labor force for your team or yourself to get the reviews, to manage them, to share them, the things we're going to talk about. So as we're talking through this, just think about what is this worth to you here? And when you're going out there to find a product, if it's ours, great. If it's something else, just make sure you're not cheaping out,
Right.
just trying to get the cheapest product out there. You're going to want to solve all these problems. Otherwise, you're really not taking advantage of the technology and the software that's out there to do this. So with that said, let's kind of dive into it. One of the most important things that a software product like this will do is automate the review process, as in reminding your customers, making it easy for them to get a review. How many reviews have you left from last month, Bob? It's
None, but
none,
you know,
right?
and we've had that conversation,
Right.
and a good, I don't know, good way to look at it is people, we don't compliment each other enough, right?
Right.
You know, and that's a fact. We need to be more generous with our compliments and everything that goes with it. Just ask my wife.
Right.
So it's one of those things. We focus on the negative. That's why we have news, right?
Yep.
Everything on the news is pretty negative. So as business owners, we have to be proactive, and we have to be proactively probing people and saying, okay, you know, we hope you had a good experience. We need your help, and we need your help to leave that review. And if we aren't proactively doing that, we're just going to default to the hopefully one out of 50 that, you know, that's all it is, that had a
Right.
negative, and they're more than happy to put that out on the internet. So it's imperative that we're progressive about this.
I think you bring up a good point too. People that have a negative situation are more than happy to go out there. They want that vengeance. They want to make it known, you know, that you screwed something up or whatnot. And they're going to give you that 1-star review. They're going to go out of their way to do that. You might impress 50 people, you know, over the course of a week. You're going to be lucky if they take your note that you gave them, the piece of paper, the receipt, whatever, and kind of follow the steps to leave you the
Right.
review. But the person that you made the mistake on, you know, you're going to hear about it. They want to make everybody aware. So unfortunately, you usually get this disproportion of, gosh, I serve thousands of customers and I screw one up, but I've got 5 good reviews and 1 negative review online. You know, that percentage usually doesn't match up for businesses.
And the key is really to take the barriers away, right?
Yep.
And that's the purpose of this software and the system that we've developed is you've got to take those barriers away. You got to make it easy for people to
Right.
review. It's, you know, for those of us that haven't done it enough, it can be complicated and everything else. Heck, even leaving a review on iTunes for our own podcast
Right.
is difficult, which is something we should probably do, is have a link on how to do that, because for me, it can be a little complicated doing it. And I've left reviews for other podcasts. And finally, I think iTunes has made it simple. So the key is taking the barrier away. And that's, I believe what this is doing.
Yeah, we've talked to lots of customers introducing this product, and through the course of finding out how they handle their current reviews, a lot of times they're printing off a piece of paper, maybe hand typing an email to send to a customer, things like this. The best thing is to just have it be completely automated, right?
Yep.
So if you can collect your email addresses and also or mobile phone numbers, right?
Yeah.
Everything we're going to be talking about here, you can actively get your customer engaged, whether it be with an email link or a link on their mobile device. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's going to go to the same process here. So the first step is going to be capturing that information from your customers. Most businesses, you're already getting that, right?
Yep.
Maybe through a checkout process, an onboarding process, you know, whatever it is. If you're not getting one of those 2 pieces of information right now, there's lots of ways to be able to do that. We're not going to cover those today. Drop us a note on the show notes page or send us an email if you want to get some tips on that. And maybe if there's enough demand, we'll cover that in another podcast. But first things first, you want to collect that information. Now, this is where the power of this automation comes into play. So right now, let's take a typical scenario. Even if you're doing awesome using this Mr. Rogers approach like we preach, somebody's in your store or you're on site at their location if you're doing field service work, and you're telling them, please give me a review. You know, help me out. Here's the information. Here's what you need to do, or here's my iPad or whatever. They have to want to do it, you know, right then and there. It's kind of a one-shot deal, really. Because if they take that piece of paper, if they're not going to do it quick,
It's never going to get done.
Yeah, the odds of them doing it decrease hour by hour, right?
Right.
So the power of this automation on the software side comes into play. Just kind of like any maybe email autoresponder, MailChimp, things like that. You can do the technology. You can use the power of the technology to say, look, Bob got my email yesterday, but he didn't open it. He didn't click through to leave me a review. I'm going to remind him in 2 days or 5 days or 7 days. Keep sending Bob those reminders to please give me some feedback until he does it. Now, you don't want to do it 17 times.
Right.
You know, probably 3 is the most. We usually have ours on a 1 day, 3 day, and 7 day reminder system. And then again, the same to be true of text. So the software is going to track that. So if I send Bob an email or a text, it knows if he's followed through. And if he has, we're not going to keep bugging him, right?
Right.
And if he does follow through, also we're not going to keep bugging him. It kind of ends either way. But it's not just a one and done deal. So that's the first thing that's really, really slick. So now everybody that you've done business with, you're sending them not a link to give you a review. You're actually, this is kind of a little trick here. You're wanting their feedback.
Right.
I'm going to pull something up on the screen here for those watching on video. This is an example of one of our customers for Helper Tech. This is what you're going to send them to. So if you send an email or a text, you're going to send a link to this landing page. And all we're asking here is, how did we do? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Not as intimidating as maybe, can you give me a review or things like that, right?
Right.
You're going for that quick little victory. So if somebody clicks the thumbs down, you can see here, it doesn't take them right to Google or Facebook or Yelp or whatever it's going to be to leave a review. It actually pops up an internal form. Basically, hey, tell us what your gripe is. Where did we screw up? And then hit send message.
I mean, the real goal here is to develop better customer service, better
Exactly.
service in general, right?
Yep.
So it isn't like you take this information and you throw it away. You go back to your team and say, okay, we have to do better. This is
Yep.
what we have to change, and you do that, and it's all going to work out in everybody's best interest.
Yep. Yeah, because this would be a real thing that happened.
Sure.
Usually the customer's not going to make it up. Between your team and the customer, there's always going to be an argument on he said, she said. But at the end of the day, they felt so inclined to leave the negative feedback that they're going to do it. So like Bob said, this doesn't go out to the review sites. They hit send on this. It's going to loop back to you. This can go to anybody you want. It's an email that gets forwarded on, right? So if you want 1 people or 10 people on the team to be able to get this kind of feedback completely within your control. From there, we would recommend, if we can give you any kind of coaching on it, definitely review those and handle them. Because for every customer that leaves this kind of feedback, there's somebody else that didn't, right?
Right.
You're going to want to win those customers. A really cool goal would be to, every time you get a negative feedback like this, address the situation and see if you can get it to a point where they will leave you, a 4 or a 5-star review.
Your negative customers can definitely help you change.
Right.
If you need to change something in your lobby, if you need to change something with the way your pricing is, and all kinds of things.
Yep.
So it's definitely a game changer.
Yep.
And what's also nice too about this is we're talking about a review software just for Google review.
Yep.
At least that's the way it's been slated.
Yep.
This does 40 different organizations. So
let's jump into that.
And I hopefully didn't mean to steal your thunder, but you want to tell us, a little bit about those and I'll just say this strategy real quick. Me as a business owner, the number one thing I want to do to get reviews is Google reviews.
Yeah.
Once I've got that at a point where I'm comfortable with, and I want to go after, let's say, others, then maybe I will change that, and you can kind of go into detail on how we do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of the flip side, which is what we're going to want here, is when somebody is happy with your service. Getting back to our screen here, we're not asking them to leave reviews again on this initial contact. Just give us a rating, thumbs up or thumbs down. Thumbs up, they're going to be presented with a second screen. And this is what Bob's talking about here. For those of you that are watching on video, you can see there's 3 buttons once they click the thumbs up. It's basically saying, oh, you thought we did a good job? Cool. Could you please leave us a review and let everybody else know how good we did? On here, we have Google, Yelp, and Facebook. For Helper Tech, Google, the button is big. You can see here, and you can customize the size to make some more prominent than others. Right now, we're trying to get positive 5-star reviews on Google for Helper Tech. So Google is most prominent. Now, if somebody doesn't have a Google account, right? Even if we want to get Google reviews, maybe they have a Facebook account, so they're going to leave a review on Facebook. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Better than nothing, right? Whereas before, if we were just handing them a piece of paper saying, please leave us a review, here's the steps, they might throw it in the trash. Like, I don't have a Google account, right? So this way, there's only 3 on the screen here, but you can have as many as you want. If you're on, Angie's List, a lot of car dealers, they'll use something called Dealer Rater. I mean, there's a lot of industry-specific review sites. At the end of the day, if there's a portal out there and you can get reviews on it, the software will automatically hook into it, whether it comes up as one of the default options or you have to plug in the address yourself.
So we can put a custom review site.
Anything you want.
Bricklayers Association or whatever the deal is.
Yep. Right? All the big national and regional ones are going to be in here automatically. If it's not pull up if it doesn't pull up on the list automatically, you can still plug it in.
Right.
It's completely customizable. So the moral of the story there is, yeah, you want to get reviews on Google for all the SEO benefits that we've talked about in the past, and we'll talk about more in the future. But reviews on any site is good for your SEO. Google's still going to take into account how many Yelp, and Facebook 5-star reviews, or what your average rating is and things like that. So you're still going to want to get out there and get those. And like Bob said, if you got enough Google reviews and you want to move on to let's pump up our Facebook stats, you can change it around. You can have Facebook be the one that's the big button and bring Google down onto the side. So you can have 3, 7, 5, whatever you want up there. And if you don't want to try to influence them, you can have all the buttons be the same dang size. I mean, doesn't matter what you do. The point here is you can do whatever you want. So now I'm going to go ahead and click on Google, and what we're going to see here It's going to take us to another quick screen that basically has instructions. That's kind of like if you've never used Google before, here's what's going to happen. You got to log in with your Google account, click the number of stars and then kind of type your text and hit send. And then that's going to be your review. And then there's a big red button basically says, click here to proceed. And once a customer does that, you'll see here on the screen, it doesn't just bring you to the Help Protect page, or to where the reviews are. It's going to pop up the screen to just start typing your review. All the customer has to do at this point is click the number of stars they want to rate you for and then type in the message. So just to kind of rewind, I got an email. I clicked on it. I said, yeah, thumbs up. These guys rock. And within a matter of 3 or 4 seconds, I'm actually now on the spot to go ahead and leave the number of stars rating and type in my review. It doesn't get any easier than that.
Right. And that's really making it easier, taking away the barriers, whether it's Google, whether you want to do it on Facebook, same thing. In this situation, Jess, do they have to have a Gmail account or anything, or is it just take you right to the review deal?
Yeah, the end user customer, they're still going to get to this spot right here, but they'll be prompted to sign in.
Okay.
So if you don't have an account, or if you're not already signed in your Google account, you're going to have that process as well.
Okay.
But otherwise it's pretty easy.
A lot of people have Gmail accounts. Would you say 70, 60% of the people out there, or what percentage?
Don't have a stat. You don't have to have a Gmail account.
Okay.
Just a Google account, right? So if for everybody listening to the podcast, you should already have a Google My Business page.
Oh, okay.
You probably already signed up for AdWords, and use their research tool like we've been talking. So in that case, even if you're not using Gmail, if you're not doing Bob at Gmail, if you're doing Bob at Intrix, but that's what you use to sign up with a Google service, that's all they have to have here.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
They know everything, don't they?
Absolutely. If you thought Facebook was bad, just wait till the Google news breaks. But no, on a serious note, it really doesn't get any easier. If you guys listening here on the podcast are having a hard time visualizing this, and even if you're not, go to the show page, intrix.com/show, check out the episode, and watch the link to the YouTube video or the Facebook video just to check out this part. You'll kind of see how easy it was when we go through it. That's what your customers are going to see.
Sure.
The percentage of reviews that you're going to get, I would say probably double, if not triple, almost immediately, just for the ease of use for this with the customer. That's what we've been seeing. Pretty standard across industries. You guys should see the same thing. So in doing this, and we're going to get into in a second here, all the features and benefits of you as the company, providing this review service to your customers. Right now we're focusing on how easy it is as a consumer to leave reviews. So you're going to find your customers are going to leave reviews at a clip of 2 to 3 times what they were before on this. And you as a business, obviously, that's great. This is a quick way to, overwhelm yourself, if you will, with 5-star reviews to kind of get that rating jacked up as soon as you can. And a little side note, when you first get engaged with the service here, you can send up to 100 emails or 200 text messages kind of in the queue at any given time. But that's a great way if maybe you're lacking in reviews, or even if you want to make a big push right out of the gates here, dump all your most recent customers into it, or some of your best customers, if you have those, kind of cherry picked, and you send this out and you're going to get a lot of reviews, right off the bat. And within a matter of days, you should see a little bit of movement in your rankings, unless somebody else is just completely dominant in your market. It's really going to help you move the needle. So now we're going to jump over to, as the business, what are some of the features and benefits that you're going to get out of this, in addition to just making it super easy for your customers. So the first thing we kind of already talked about a little bit, that's that automation where you're going to keep getting reminded. Your customers, I should say, are going to keep getting reminded to leave a review. You can customize that message. It can be as friendly or as pushy as you want. And again, you can kind of set the intervals and the timing for that. Either way, once they're done with that interval, or if they leave a review, they're out of the system. You're not going to bug them, to the nth degree. Now, at any given time, you can jump in and you can see the queue, right? How many people have I entered into the system to send off these automated review messages? How many people have actually left reviews? You can kind of see the progress through it, kind of the pipeline of it. And you can also see what portals that they've left those reviews on. So that's something I personally really like. If you have, let's just take those 3: Yelp, Google, and Facebook, if that's the 3 places you want to get reviews from. Something that's really good as a business is you want to respond to those reviews, right? So every time somebody leaves you a review, you want to say, hey, thanks, or hey, good to see you again, or whatever it is. It shows that customer that you're important, and it shows everybody else who's reading that your customers are important to you. This is super cool because it kind of centralizes everything. You're going to get an email alert every time somebody leaves a review. Right now, I don't know, are you set up like that or not? Usually everybody's not set up across the board, or maybe this manager or that manager is in charge of Yelp or Facebook or whatever. This allows some kind of a centralized reporting on it. So you're going to get an email alert and or kind of a summary. You can set it up however you want. Who is giving you reviews and where those reviews are happening. From there, you can just click on it to read it, or if you want to reply to it, boom, you're right out to that portal, and you can reply to those as well in a very, very timely fashion. So
right.
both of those things are absolutely great. You just get that visibility. The other end of the spectrum is if somebody leaves you a negative review, right?
What's nice about this tool is we've had customers that have had, let's say, a bad reputation, not necessarily a bad reputation, but they're coming into this. They've got 1 or 2 star reviews. They're not sure what to do. They're kind of wringing their hands with the whole thing. And basically, the way to look at reviews is a lot like arsenic. You can't get rid of arsenic. It's always going to be there, so to speak. The best you can do is dilute it. So you have to overpower those negative reviews with positive, and that's what this system does. So especially if you're an existing business, you've been around for a while, you've got to have an email list of some sort. And that's where this comes in, and you can load 50 a day, 50 emails a day, and fire those off. And you've got existing customers that are going to leave a review for you. That especially if you're in a repeat situation. So this is a way to help recover your reputation over time. It usually takes anywhere from a month to 60 days to get you into what I call the 4.0 plus type area. And ideally, you want to be above a 4.5 in terms of reviews, because
that's the elite space.
Yeah, especially when you get into higher numbers, north of, let's say, 100 actual reviews that are left. So that's what's nice about this software. And you have to ask yourself, what's the price on negative or positive reviews? In terms of conversion, and we really haven't even crossed that bridge. So, in my mind, if you show up in the map pack and you're in the top 3 and you've got no reviews, you're out of the game, essentially. And depending on your industry, if you're, let's say, a truck repair, well, each repair is typically $1,600 to $1,800. I don't know what your profit is, but let's say it's at least 30%. Well, you just do the numbers backwards. If you're not getting the calls and you don't get, let's say, 12 extra calls a month that you should be getting, and you're going to close 30% of those, well, you just lost $1,200. So it's fairly obvious that you got to do something if you're in that position. And this is an easy solution, a relatively easy solution. I still think you got to have a point person, like you said, to review the status of those and respond to those reviews. So whether it's you, the owner, or you delegate that to a manager or sales manager or what have you, those are all good things, but you still got to stay on top of it. But you're not hand-holding every review, because then that becomes cost effective.
So one of our customers, finance guy at a car dealership, just spends a lot of time basically hand delivering a review. Here's how you leave a review and everything else to every customer. Probably spend about half hour a day, 20 minutes a day, which doesn't seem like a ton of time. It's just scattered out here and there.
Right.
But you add that up, it's actually quite a bit of time. You throw a few $100 a month at that. Right there, you've already paid just for your own labor, let alone the fact that you're getting more reviews. Like I said, you're overwhelming your system to where if you do have some negative reviews, hey, it's much better to have 1 out of 500 versus 1 out of 5, right? On the negative side, you're really diluting that. And just that whole value proposition really becomes such an easy ROI. Now you add to the fact, I wanted to jump back real quick before I get my train of thought here. You were mentioning kind of overwhelming the system. You can also use this to increase those reviews. If somebody to increase the negative reviews, again, you're going to get that email alert within a short order that they just left a review. Before a lot of people see it, before all the damage is made, quickly get on the phone with them, on the email, put your team on it, whatever it is, and say, hey, sorry, Bob, we had a very bad situation with you. That is not the norm. I think you can see that in dealing with us. We want to make this right. What do I got to do to make it right for you? And then if I can do that, can you change your rating, to somewhere north of 3 or 4? 5 would be great if we can get there. And a lot of times customers are very receptive. I mean, it's amazing when somebody has a negative situation. I don't want to say it's like a cry for help. I mean, but they just want to know, like, I'm so pissed. I just want to let you know. And if you can address that, and meet them somewhere in the middle. They're usually happy to change it because they're not here to leave you bad reviews. They're here to get good service.
And I think, what I like about this podcast is we're trying to help small business, right?
Yeah, right.
And I think that's the beauty of small business. We're very light on our feet. Most of us are customer oriented. We want to help our customers. And I challenge all you guys to go out and take a look at some larger corporations that are publicly traded and go see what their reviews are. It's shocking. The majority of them, the reviews are well under 4.0. I mean, they're in like the mid to low threes, which in my mind is just not acceptable. So, this is definitely a great advantage and a great way to again, just improve things across the board and put out better service, because that's what we're known for as small business owners. Yep. I mean, we're light on our feet. We can get this done and provide a higher level of service. So this tool is definitely a great tool for that. And I think one of the things I think you wanted to cover, I don't know if we're jumping around here too much, but basically, how do you know how you're faring out there? Like, one of the blind spots for us, I think, was Yelp. Yeah. And this tool kind of helped us expose that and show that, hey, we needed help in that area or what have you. So I don't know if you can speak to that at all.
Yeah, absolutely. There's lots of other little features and benefits that kind of come with this. That was the main guts of it. We just want to make sure we communicate all those. If you really want to know, well, this is going to benefit me, or any solution going to benefit me, we can help you out with that too. If you go to reviews.intrix.com, it's going to take you to our page. There's a blue button there to see how does my business compare. Click that. We're going to run you an audit. It's going to go out. It's going to find where are you currently getting reviews, and it's going to basically give you a one-page report card. Here's the kind of reviews you're getting. Here's the their average star ratings you're getting, and just like with our free SEO audit, it's basically what's the good, the bad, and the ugly here. Right. What's going on. From there, if you want to work with us to implement a software solution like this and get it rolling, or if you just want to take it and run with it somewhere else, completely up to you. But definitely go there, reviews.intrix.com, and understand at least what's happening, because you don't know what you don't know. Sometimes your business, you might be out there in multiple portals. You were not even aware that it even existed. Right. And you might say to yourself, well, I don't have any reviews there. No big deal. And that's kind of what we're trying to convey, is that is a big deal. You want to get some reviews on there. Google, just purely from an SEO standpoint, most of what we're talking about here is kind of in customer service, right? Reputation management, things like that. Pulling it back into the SEO side of things, if your business is listed on, let's say, 10 portals out there, and that can get reviews, if you're only having reviews on, let's say, again, Google, Yelp, and Facebook, kind of the big three, those other 7 portals that are out there, they're not giving you that social credibility that Google's going to see and make a difference on your SEO. Now, if you had reviews on all 10 of those portals, and hopefully you're getting 4 or 5 stars on all 10 of those portals, it's going to carry some weight with Google. That's going to track back to your website, back to your Google My Business listing, and it's going to bump your rankings up. So this report is going to show you, again, what's happening, what's not happening, and where the dead spots are. And it's just something you're going to take advantage of. Yeah. There's just no other way to say it without belaboring the point. So check it out, reviews.intrix.com.
Yeah, great tool. It's we've got a lot of people that are really happy with that. And some people take it and they say, we're too small, so we're gonna work on it ourselves, which is great, type of deal. Hopefully they get big enough that this becomes a tool that they can justify at that point. Yeah. But it's good information regardless of the size of your business.
One other point I wanted to make too, you talk about size of your business, it's multi-location businesses.
Oh yeah.
What we showed you there was kind of a single location example. So if you're in a business that has multiple locations, or, if you're an agency too, and you want to resell this out there, it's completely fine. And you want to talk to a business with multiple locations, there's really 2 ways to handle it. One, each location can handle the reviews independently, which kind of makes them de facto single locations, right? So if you have a customer that comes into store A, maybe store A is asking them for a review and kind of using this kind of software to solicit those reviews from those customers. Same with store B and store C. Now, in the other scenario, maybe the corporate headquarters, is in charge of all this kind of stuff. So stores A, B, and C all report back. Here's all of our new customers for today or this week or whatever it's going to be. And if the corporate headquarters is in charge of contacting those customers to get the reviews, that's where the software is even more spectacular, in my opinion. All those customers are going to get that link that says, would you please rate us? Before that, they're going to be asked to choose which location. You can show the address. You can show a picture of the customer service team, a picture of the outside of the building, whatever you want to do, but you want to make the identifier so the customer can pick, yep, that's where I was right there.
Yeah.
So they pick their location, and then they give you a thumbs up or thumbs down. Or, and we should say too, again, we're really hitting on the highlights here, but that thumbs up or thumbs down, you can have it be smiley faces. You can have it be, scale of 1 to 10, 1 to 5 stars, whatever you want. We prefer the thumbs up and thumbs down. Again, it's breaking down the barriers, making it as easy as possible, not only to execute, but just to understand, right? Making it simple. But all that being said, again, for multiple locations, this is just great. It all comes into one single database. You as the business, you can upload this yourself. We should make that clear as well, right? You can go to an Excel spreadsheet, or you can go to the secure portal and just manually copy paste in these customer information, whatever you want to do, whatever's easier. But really, it's going to take you. I'd say if you put it on a weekly basis, depending on the system you're using for your CRM, might take you 5 minutes maybe to export all your contacts. It's going to take you about another 60 seconds to put them into the system. So 5 minutes, maybe if you're a little more challenged, 15 minutes a week, what I mean? Or a day if you're doing it daily. And you're going to get all the benefits. You're going to get the rankings increases. You're going to get that social credibility out there. And again, we're not even hitting on it for this because we talked other episodes, but you want to then take those reviews, use them in your marketing. Like we said at the beginning here, put them on your commercials, put them on your flyers, put them on your billboards, on your trucks and your vans, your cars, whatever. The more reviews you get, it's not just cool to have them for everything it does online, but use them. Everybody's loving to see them, and we're seeing it in marketing all over the place. You shouldn't be any different. So I think that's about it. Is there any other points you want to add, Bob, to that?
I think that about covers it. I think it's a great product. I know it's going to help a lot of businesses. It's definitely helped ours and our customers, and it's just a matter of whether or not it's the right fit for that size company. So.
Yeah. So again, if you're not sure, check it out, reviews.intrix.com. If you're curious, click the blue button. We'll do an audit for you. You can run with that information. If you choose a different product that fits your needs, great. Otherwise, if you choose the product that we're pushing here, that's great as well. At the end of the day, do something. Yeah, this technology is out there. Yeah. You got to run with it.
Can't ignore it anymore.
Nope. Take advantage, because you don't want to be the last one on the block that doesn't have any reviews. You're gonna feel that in a negative way pretty quick. So. All right, that about does it for this week. As always, go out to intrix.com/show. Drop us a line on the show page for any feedback, any questions that you have. We're happy to answer them. And we'd love for you to leave us a review on iTunes. Intrix.com/iTunes. Wish we had an automated version for that. We don't yet.
Right.
But the reviews keep rolling in. We keep reading them at the end of each episode. Absolutely love it. This is what we're here doing, is to help people, hopefully make people happy and kind of put some positive impact on your business, and we just love to hear it. So intrix.com/iTunes, leave us a review.
Have a good week.
Have a good week. So speaking of reviews, it's time to share a review that we got. I'd like to share today another 5-star review. This one here is from, hope I'm saying your last name right, Andrew Weimbiz. And Andrew gives us a 5-star review saying, "So many ways to improve your SEO. As a former tech/web guy, I already knew quite a bit about SEO, but after listening to Local SEO Tactics, I realized how much I didn't know. These guys have so many different ways to improve your searchability, plus they make it easy to implement. Great for local businesses." Thanks, Andrew. That's exactly what we're trying to do. Everybody else out there, if you like what we're doing, we'd love to hear about it. Intrix.com/iTunes will take you to iTunes, and you can leave a review. We'd love to hear from you and let us know how we're doing.